It's around 10:30 p.m. on April 28, 2019, and Acting Sergeant Kathleen Von Goldberg is on her way to a home on Abita Circle in Las Vegas. Minutes earlier, the home's resident had called dispatch after her Ring doorbell camera picked up a car driving into another one parked on the street.
Who was that?
A man can be heard calling for help and asking for an ambulance.
What? Who are you? What happened? Oh, okay, wait.
Jimmy, shopping, Centauro. Alright.
Please describe to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you saw when you got to 8 Abita Circle.
As I responded, I saw a SUV. It wasn't in the driveway. It looked like it had crashed. Or it had like a minor fender.
What the fuck? Hey, let me see your hand.
Initially, I thought maybe it was a drunk driver.
Oh my god. What happened?
As I approached the driver's side door,
What?
I saw a man who was bleeding profusely.
You got stabbed with a knife? Sit here. Do not move. Do not get out of the car. No. Sit in the car.
64-year-old Kevin Hackett was bleeding badly and was going in and out of consciousness. Earlier that night, an agitated and stressed Kevin was seen by a coworker pacing the floor of the MGM Grand. The pit manager was concerned that his girlfriend, a supervisor named So Kim, referred henceforth as just Kim, was not picking up the phone or answering his texts. She had not checked into her swing shift on time, which was not like her at all. He handed his pit keys to the coworker and said he was leaving because he felt something was wrong.
Okay.
Now, about an hour after he left, he's barely hanging on to life. All he could utter when asked who did this to him was,
All I got was it was an Asian guy. Definitely.
Kevin will be taken to the trauma unit of UMC Hospital in life-threatening condition.
I already know it's trauma without knowing it's trauma.
In the meantime, the acting sergeant instructs patrol to follow a blood trail because Kevin could not have traveled too far in his condition.
What about this
In
house
fact,
right here?
he didn't. The home at 8390 Abita Circle, near the entrance of this cul-de-sac, stood out for the light emerging from the open garage door and, more importantly, the blood trail on the driveway. Waiting for them inside were a hostage, the hostage's son, and a baffling story. From Behave Docs, this is The Long Night.
Can you log a plate?
Oh, that's Seattle.
It's been open, right?
Oh, that's Seattle.
We're gonna knock it.
There's blood in there, blood in there.
Metro Police! Metro Police, if you're inside, sound off right now!
Personnel from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department split off at the hallway, whose floor was blotted with blood. Thomas Zabriskie was angling toward the bedrooms when he heard a female voice.
Hey.
Bring him out.
Where you at? Open door right.
I'll check it. Alright, it's bathroom. You got bedroom left, bathroom right. Check that bathroom.
Bathroom's good.
Okay, clear those two. Or clear that one, I'll come with you. I'm still holding. We don't want to know what's unknown behind us. We're coming. Are you hurt?
Alright, we'll come to you guys.
Check that one. Check that one. Clear that bedroom. Are you hurt? Clear. Door left. I'll push past it. Whole bedroom.
Police, please, I need to go to pee. I'm in the pool.
Okay, she's in the bathroom. Where are you at?
In the master bedroom's water closet was Kim, her face battered and her hands and legs bound with duct tape. Kim, who will also be taken to UMC Hospital, said she remembered talking to her son and getting ready for work this night, but nothing much after that. She believed she was knocked out at some point. The native of South Korea was an accomplished and successful businesswoman in the garment industry in her home country, but quit her job and emigrated to the United States in October 1999 to be with her son, Chan Park, in Long Island, New York. She worked some odd jobs, bounced around different states until landing a full-time supervisor position at MGM, where she met her boss and boyfriend, Kevin Hackett. At the other end of the hallway, Sergeant Von Goldberg walked into a dark living room where the front door was located. It was there that they were introduced to 32-year-old Chan Park.
I got an Asian male right here. 593 Adam, we have one at gunpoint right now. He's also bleeding heavily, real medical. Are you armed?
Hands on.
Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. Are you hurt anywhere?
Can you come out with your hands up now?
Dude, answer my fucking question. Have you been stabbed or not? No. Okay, stand up.
Yeah. Hands on.
Dude, get the fuck up.
Control 310-6, we got someone in a...
Get on your knees right now. Get on your knees.
Get on your fucking knees.
Get on your fucking knees. Get on your knees.
Hold down the legal.
Dude, I'm gonna tase the fuck out of you.
Hold on. Get on your knees.
Get on your fucking knees.
Get on your knees. No, hands on the ground, lay down.
Chan had red marks all over his body and a gash on the thumb of his dominant left hand, but declined to be taken to hospital. At the age of 10, Chan visited Los Angeles, California for an exhibition game as a member of the children's taekwondo team of Korea. The black belt ended up yearning to live and study in the States, so his mother enlisted the help of a reference named Mr. Shim, a Christian pastor and educator, to put him up in a private boarding school at a cost indicative of mom's success, $3,000 to $4,000 per month on top of tuition and fees for the pastor, to be his legal guardian. His mom worked day and night to put up more than $130,000 for Chan's life and study on Long Island, but Chan grew homesick. He would call her every day and cry, she said, to which she responded, "Be a man and get over it." This is what he wanted, and she was sacrificing everything for him, so be better, appreciate it, and grow up, she said, which she regrets saying in part because Chan thereafter stopped showing emotion to her. Soon, Kim would learn that Mr. Shim allegedly sold her a lie. Chan was enrolled not in private boarding, but in a public institution called the Bowling Green School. Mr. Shim, a serial scammer, was neither a pastor nor an educator, and he had been neglecting and physically harming Chan, she said. Kim was worried sick about her son. She left her life behind to be with him in the States, with the final destination being this home on Abita Circle.
Hands on the ground, lay down. Give me another go.
Are you hurt or not? No, you're not hurt.
We got one in the bedroom. Put your hands on your head. Lay down, put your hands on your head. Right
Hey, I'm on low lethal and lethal right now. I need someone to take low lethal for me.
I gotta cover that.
Okay.
Hey, what's up?
Well, we're bringing him out. Bringing him out.
Take him over by your car.
Someone go with Blake. Okay, I've got you right here. I'm with you. Metro Police.
The home was smeared with blood. It looked as though whatever happened occurred all over the place. Kevin's glasses, phone, stylus, and Bluetooth device were strewn all over the floor. There was blood in the hallway, on and under the kitchen sink, and on the couch in the adjacent sitting area. There was a bloody sweatshirt on the kitchen counter and bloody paper towels. There were different blood patterns on the wall next to the front door. One, a thicker blob identified as transfer, where the person makes direct contact with the wall, and a more scattered pattern called spatter, where blood travels through the air as a result of force. Investigators believe a significant part of the incident happened here, as evidenced by the blood on the ceiling, the chandelier, the front door, and the heavy volume near the sofa on which Chan reclined, and on which the knife used in the attack rested. In the laundry room through which Metro Police entered were slides under which there was blood. And in the master bedroom, the room adjacent to the hostage location, were Chan's ID and a gaming station, indicating he'd been staying in this room. Chan had assumed this bedroom after his mom moved out to live with Kevin. But this arrangement was about to get a reset. That's because in late March, about a month before the incident, Chan learned some unexpected news. After 4 years living away, his mother was moving back in. A canvass of the rest of the neighborhood yielded no witnesses, human or camera. That meant the story was going to be told through the evidence at the scene, and the testimony of Chan Park, who represented himself at his March 2023 trial. It all started when Kim, who was getting ready for work, came into Chan's room and asked him if he wanted to have dinner with her for his birthday the next night. He declined, which, according to Chan on direct testimony, triggered an argument that lasted all the way up to the point that Kevin walked in.
Obviously, I wasn't expecting him. She wasn't expecting him. He was worried about So Kim. He was overly worried. Became kind of screaming. And of course, I responded by saying things like, what are you doing here? What is he doing here? He was obviously siding with my mom and then yelling at me, I guess. And of course, I responded back aggressively. What are you doing here? I thought you guys had broken up. I don't know what's happening. Why is he even here?
Chan said the shouting match escalated and his mom threatened to call the police if they didn't knock it off. He claims he was walking back to his room, but Kevin continued to badmouth him, so he turned around. That's when he claims Kevin put his hand on him.
Kind of knocked his hand off, and then at this point, So Kim was, she said something like, "Oh, that's it. I'll be calling the police," because I brought up things about like their relationship, so he was very angry, I guess, right? That's when Kevin pushed her. Not once again, not like such an aggressive force, but I guess he wanted to stop her from calling the police, and then she tripped over. And then there's a cabinet on that hallway leading to the master bedroom, and she hit her head on the edge, and then she fell onto the ground, and then she hit her head again, and at that point she was like moaning, but pretty much laying there unresponsive, and of course I was shocked. Kevin looked pretty shocked too. And then of course I pushed him, and then I pushed Kevin. Well, what are you doing? And then he grabbed me, and then he wrapped his hand around me and said, "This is all my fault. This wouldn't have happened. If it wasn't for me." And then he took out the pocket knife that was from his pocket, and then he said, "Do as I say. I don't want to hear it." And then he just grabbed me by the back of my neck. He dragged me, and then he was forcing me to walk down the hallway, and then he was saying, "Where do you?" He told me where the tapes are. Where do I keep the tapes?
Chan said after getting the duct tape, he was dragged to the kitchen where he was told to grab 2 knives. He then says he was taken to the master bedroom where he was told to set down those knives on a table.
Yeah, and then we went back to the hallway where So Kim laid, unresponsive, and there was some blood, a pool of blood developing on the floor. And then he told me to start taping her up. And then he told me to drag So Kim to the room and then leave her there. So I did. I was having trouble, but I dragged her over to the closet, and then he said, "Tape around her legs again." So I was like, "Okay." And then in the middle of taping around her knees, legs, feet, I don't remember. I look over, and then Kevin is not there. And then, so I naturally went over to the door and look down the hallway, and then I do not see him. I take this opportunity to grab the knife. At this point, Kevin was at the hallway. He's seeing me. He saw me come towards him. I just grabbed it and then just ran towards him. And then I just stabbed him. I think he dropped his knife because I stabbed him. And then he naturally went for the knife. so I stabbed him again. And then I was keep telling him to back off, and he would back off, but then he would launch at me again, and then so I would have to stab him. And then once again I was telling him to back up, and at some point I was telling him to get down, but obviously he wasn't getting down. At some point he tried to grab one of the whatever was on top of the table at the front entrance area, the living room area. So I had to stab him again, and then I kept telling him to get down. He wouldn't, so I stabbed him again. Once again, I ended up dropping my knife at some point because once again, I told the detective that it was slippery. It slipped out, and then of course we both tried to go for the knife, and then we started wrestling. And of course, I really couldn't do much. I mean, I tried to oppose him, but he was pretty much choking me on top of me, and then he stopped, obviously, and then he just let me go, and then he let go eventually. And then eventually he got up and said something, honestly, I don't remember the exact words, but he said something along, well, say anything like, once again, he made threat to me that he'll kill me. And he also said something like, once again, you stabbed me, do you think anybody will believe you? Yeah, and then he walked away. I tried to just washing blood off, I guess, and then drinking water. And then eventually I went to the living room. Yeah, and then things happened the way it did.
For a self-defense case with no witnesses but the combatants, the evidence and circumstances are the recorders of history. Several observations were made immediately. First, Kevin was a big man, standing at or around 6 feet 6 inches tall and weighing around 300 pounds, far larger than Chan, who was roughly 150 pounds at the time of the incident. Despite the size delta, Chan's self-defense case can't look too good if he is armed, and Kevin isn't. So, in Chan's version, Kevin is armed with a knife, albeit a pocket knife, which would still tilt the balance of power toward the much larger man. To make the story credible, investigators would need to find evidence supporting an armed Kevin. To exclude all other remote possibilities, a search of Kevin's car yielded a handgun. State lawyers were sure it was never brought into the home because the outcome would have been very different had the firearm enthusiasts been carrying it. You don't bring a knife to a gunfight type of deal. Then there's the pocket knife that was found in Kevin's driver's side car door, which was presumably the one Chan was talking about. The problem, according to the state, is that the knife only had a tiny amount of blood on its handle, which is a significant contrast to the amount of blood on Kevin and in the car. Had Kevin been carrying it, lawyers theorized, it would have been soaked in his blood. And at the very least, he would have gotten at least one stab in on a kid half his size. In the eyes of the prosecution, the evidence and circumstances were pointing to one reality. Kevin Hackett was not armed the night he entered that home. Kevin was unresponsive when he arrived at the hospital. He went into cardiac arrest but was revived and, at some point, speaking. Kim and Kevin's family sat by his bedside to comfort and support him during a very difficult time. He had been stabbed in the neck, chest, abdomen, and hand. Some of the wounds were defensive. He required several serious surgeries, which resulted in the development of infections, which could not be treated with antibiotics, and that devastated his body. Kevin was thereafter dependent on a ventilator. The prognosis was so grim that his family decided to put a do not resuscitate request in place, meaning if he went into cardiac arrest, doctors would not try to revive him. 5 weeks after the incident, on May 31st, 2019, Kevin Hackett passed away. The medical examiner ruled that there was a direct line from the stabbing attack to his death because the infections developed from the need to treat wounds from that attack. This was a delayed death, and the manner was homicide. Kevin was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in November 1954. He was described in his obituary as one of the toughest men to ever live, and in the comments as a gentle giant and a great work colleague. At 17, he enlisted and traveled overseas as a member of the U.S. Special Forces. When he returned, he had 2 children with his ex-wife and began his casino career in Atlantic City, New Jersey, before moving to Sin City, where he worked and met So Kim at MGM. The obituary lists his interests as his Irish wolfhounds, action movies, Led Zeppelin, firearms, and teaching his children from a young age to be strong and independent. Advice that will play some role in this story. Kevin met Kim during a time when she was perhaps treading carefully about getting into relationships. She said her son's father, who she married in 1983, was a deadbeat who couldn't hold down a job. 3 years later, when Chan was 7 months old, she said she found out he was cheating on her and divorced him. South Korea had a patriarchal legal and cultural tradition at the time, so the child was the property of the father in the event of a divorce. But Kim said the father in this case didn't actually want to raise the kid. When his father moved to Japan, Chan was left to his paternal grandparents, who also didn't want to take care of him. Kim was told that if she didn't come get him, then they would put him up in an orphanage. The biological mother didn't hesitate. Rendered poor after being swindled by Mr. Shim, Kim said she took whatever savings she had and moved to the United States to be with and support her son. It wouldn't be long before she married her next husband, a Korean man named Sung, in 2001. That relationship, however, would also fail. She said the taxi driver siphoned her money for personal use, including to pay off gambling debts. She also claimed he hated Chan and would get emotionally and verbally abusive to him, which forced the child to stay in his room and avoid him. But she stuck it out for a period. The couple moved to Connecticut to take up jobs at the Foxwoods Casino. Chan, who much preferred Long Island because he had friends there, attended Norwich Free Academy for high school. The family's financial situation improved, but in 2005, Kim divorced Sung in part because his negative attitude toward Chan never changed. Chan worked as a casino dealer while attending the University of Connecticut, but he didn't like the work. The outlook on life for the kid who liked art and the violin dimmed, and 2 years into his college career, he dropped out. Chan was no longer a cheerful little boy, Kim writes in a short biography about her son provided to the court. He did not have many friends, and it seemed like he did not know what he wanted to do at college. Mom and son decided to start over in Nevada in October 2008. She sold a home in Connecticut, bought one in Henderson, a city near Las Vegas, and sent Chan first so she could continue working at the Foxwoods to provide for him, because she couldn't find casino dealer jobs in a Nevada ravaged by the recession. But that would change in April 2010, when she got a job at the Venetian on the Strip. Long separated from the place he called home in Long Island, Chan became a bit of a recluse, Kim writes in the biography. It seemed Chan had spent most of the time in the house drawing and playing computer games, she said. He told me about how lonely he was and could not sleep at night. Meanwhile, Kim said Kevin chased her at MGM. Kevin had asked me out and followed me almost every day for 2 months before I accepted his request to date him, she said. He seemed to be a gentleman and he wanted to take care of me. Kim said she wished for Kevin to play the role of a father to Chan, to which she said he agreed. She introduced Kevin and Chan to each other, but ultimately the two did not know each other that well. Kim recalls Kevin going into Chan's room at most 2 times to talk to him, but that's it. Kim said Kevin said he would try to get Chan a job at MGM, but nothing came of it. Chan would say he neither liked nor disliked Kevin. In December 2014, around the time they started dating, Kevin asked Kim to move in with him. At first, there was some back and forth. Kim said she wanted Kevin to move in with her, but he refused. It was Kim who lost the game of chicken and moved across town to be with her boyfriend. This meant the unemployed college dropout was, once again, alone, and, once again, supported financially from a distance by his mother who, once again, yearned to be with him. After 4 years of dating and living together, the relationship between Kim and Kevin frayed. She said she wanted to leave several times and eventually did so in late March. She said she missed being with her son, but also told detectives that she and Kevin got into an argument before she left. Despite the friction, Kim and Kevin worked the same shift. Kim had left some personal items at his home, and Kevin was still concerned about her well-being, as she was about him after the incident. Kim testified that at some point on the night in question, she regained consciousness to Kevin calling her name. Kevin had a garage door opener and walked in calling her name out of concern because she didn't show up for work. She remembers trying to move, but couldn't. The next thing she remembers is regaining consciousness to the presence of police. Not once did Kim claim there was an argument that night between her and her son. Chan claimed she grilled him for not spending enough time with her and not finishing college, and Kevin, who he alleged was obsessed with his mom, came into the house upset and blamed him for their breakup. That's where the accounts of mother and son diverge. Where the accounts align is on the fact that Chan rejected his mother's suggestion that they have dinner on his birthday, and on the fact that, when she came back home in late March, she had a very tough conversation with her son that would linger, rent-free, in his mind up to and into the night of carnage.
You would agree with me that every single thing that you just told the jury is wildly different from what you told the police on April 28th of 2019.
Different, but I don't know about wildly different.
My name's Detective Calendar, okay? This is Sergeant Phillips. Hey, how are you doing? Can I finally get water? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. They said I'd win. What happened tonight? Like the crime said, I attempted murder and assault. So around like 7, your mom said she was getting ready to work, okay? And then she says she doesn't really remember what happened. Okay, do you know what happened? I mean, I know what happened. I mean, I did the crime. I planned it out.
What did you do to your mom? You said you assaulted her.
Yeah,
what does that mean to you?
I like hit her, punched her, I guess, and then she got knocked over, and then I kicked her. She wasn't unconscious, but she fell over, and I hit her, and then I kicked her. And then you kicked her. Did you kick her in the chest or the head? Okay. So did she pass out at that point, or was she still coherent? No, she was still okay. Was she saying anything to you when you did that to her? No, barely nothing. Okay. So then you had the duct tape, and then did you duct tape her mouth first, her hands, her feet? I think her feet first. Okay. And then her hands. Okay. And then her mouth. Okay. And then that happened in the hallway, right? Right in front of the master bedroom? Or did that happen? Around there. It technically happened in front of her bedroom, but... Right. So then did you pick her up? Did you drag her into the closet? I just dragged her into along with the mattress. Okay. And so you left her in the closet, and that took a little while for you to get her all tied up and stuff like that? Yeah, because I had to find the duct tape. Okay. So once you tied her up and all that stuff, what were you planning to do? With her? Mm-hmm. I was going to leave her there. And where were you going to go? I was going to stay there until whoever comes. So you were just going to leave her tied up in there until whoever comes? Yeah. Okay. So, how long was she in the closet for? I say maybe 2 hours, I guess. 2 hours. Okay. Or until the other guy came. Who's the other guy? The one that I attempted murder on. So, your mom's tied up in the closet. What are you doing at that time for those 2 hours? Well, obviously that whole process of tying up and stuff, that took a while. I mean, it's not like I've never done this or anything. It's that took a while. Mm-hmm. And then I was gonna watch Game of Thrones. Okay. So after you got her tied up and she's in the closet and you're gonna go watch Game of Thrones, then what happens? And eventually he comes. Okay. When he comes, does he knock on the door? No, he's supposedly at a garage door and came as if he knew what would happen. Okay. What already happened. And where are you at in the house when he comes in? I think I was in the bathroom at that point. Well, when the garage door opened, I was in the bathroom. Which bathroom? But in the one in my room. In the master? Yeah. Okay. So right by where your mom was at? Yeah. Okay. So when you heard the garage door go up, what did you do?
I grabbed my knife that I had ready.
Okay. Where was the knife at?
On the little table. There's.
Okay. In the bedroom?
Yeah, in the bedroom.
Okay. So when did you get the knife and bring it into the bedroom?
Oh, that was after I tied her up, I guess, then, whatever.
Okay, so you went and got the knife in hopes or in planning if someone shows up?
Yeah.
Okay.
He just comes in to get it, and then he's asking for my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started stabbing.
Okay. There was nothing else said? You just...
No, nothing else said.
Okay.
We met up in the hallway.
Okay. And then you didn't say anything?
No.
You just started stabbing him?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know how many times you stabbed him?
Multiple times, I would say. I mean, I think he counts.
Okay.
5, 6, 7, something like that.
So, as you're stabbing him, then what happens? So, is it like, does he push you off of him? How does it break up?
What happened was, I guess, it's a kitchen knife, so it's like, it's whatever, it's not good for stabbing anyways. And because of blood, it slipped off my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And of course I naturally just went for it, and then that's when he jumped me.
Okay. And then he was able to get away?
No, we were rolling on the ground, I guess, wrestling.
Okay. For the knife?
No, we were just, not for the knife. We were just, I was trying to kill him, he was trying to, I guess, self-defense, trying to kill me.
Okay. And what made you want to kill Kevin?
Because he was there.
So if anyone showed up, you were going to try to kill him?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you going to try to kill your mom too?
I guess initially, but I realized, I mean, whatever, it didn't matter. Whatever. Like I said, it's part of a complicated reason. Not like I ever expected to get away with it or anything like that. No, that was never part of the plan.
Oh, so you were planning on essentially killing people and then dying as well?
I guess, of course, I'm sure if the cops came, I'm sure they'll shoot me, whatever. I'm sure.
Is that kind of what you were planning on having happen?
I mean, whatever. I didn't know who was going to show up. I guess there were a few possibilities, including Kevin, that could have showed up.
So you guys were wrestling on the ground, he's able to get up, okay, and he goes back out the garage, correct?
No, I think he went to the bathroom. I don't know what happened. It was there.
Okay.
I don't know if, because I was on the ground, he was on the ground, and we just eventually just came to like a stalemate because,
okay.
and then I was like, all right, let's just get up and finish this and get it instead of whatever, and then he went to the bathroom, and I'm guessing, I don't know, either the bathroom or the garage.
Where did you go when you couldn't see him anymore?
Well, I was, that ended near the kitchen,
mm-hmm.
so I was in the kitchen, washing my face off, getting some water.
So then, after you don't know where he goes, you're in the kitchen cleaning up, and then what happens? You said you were drinking water. Do you go sit down?
Yeah, I was sitting down.
Where were you sitting at?
First in the kitchen, and then I moved up to the living room, sofa, and then that's when the cops came.
At any point, did you go back and see your mom before the police came?
No.
Okay.
What was the big building blocks of this plan?
There wasn't a big plan. It was just that I just thought it was time.
Time for what? What was your plan?
For this crime.
To attack your mom, kill her, kill the...
Like I said, I was never really gonna kill her. I was gonna like assault her and like leave her there, and then whoever comes, like, I just want to see who comes.
Do you feel any remorse for what you were doing?
No.
So you don't feel bad for what you did to your mom, or tying her up and leaving her back in the closet?
Like I said, if you knew the complicated reasons.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out. I mean,
yeah,
I want you to help me below that, so that way I can understand why you did it. I mean,
yeah, but that's my point. Like, I can't even explain it. It's so complicated.
and it's just gonna make me sound crazy, although whatever. Right. Have you ever spoke to a doctor? Have you ever had any kind of mental disorders or anything like that? Have you ever heard voices or anything like that? Essentially, we're here talking to you. You're not hearing anyone else talk to you right now, are you? Right now, no. Okay. Okay, so it can't be that complicated then. It is complicated. Because you the very fact that you imply that would be completely crazy, it goes to show you it's I'm trying to ask if there's any. No, you're saying it's complicated. And of course, even me even explaining like this, I come off crazy anyway.
Jan Park, who was charged with murder on June 13th, was in fact not crazy, and state lawyers didn't believe the reasons for the attack were all that complicated.
I was willing to kill anyone that came to the house is, in your mind, a better explanation than I was killing someone in self-defense.
I was making things up as I was going, and I was saying things that don't make sense on purpose, hoping that the detective would do some investigation.
You were able to live in the master bedroom and play video games at will.
I was working on becoming a game developer, so that's not completely entirely true.
Okay, so that is something that you were interested in, and that's something that you spent a lot of time with, was you in your room, on your video games, hopefully developing your own video game, is that right?
Well, not my own, I could work for a company, but yes, I do spend a lot of time by myself, and I do play video games.
So at some point then your mom decides that she wants to come and move back into her home and be with you again.
Yeah.
So she was often not at home because she had to work, she had to go to a job.
Yes.
And she started writing you. She started talking to you about why aren't you working, correct?
Once again, she was, like I said, she wasn't aware that I was trying to learn how to become a game developer, so she wasn't complaining about that, not that much.
But she was talking to you about the fact that you needed to get a job, that you needed to contribute, that she wanted you to do something. She didn't care what it was, but she wanted you to do something.
Around that time period, no.
But at some point, throughout the course of your relationship, up until the time of Kevin Hackett's murder, your mom wanted you to get a job.
In my 33 years, yes.
Okay. At some point, did your mom get you a computer?
Yes.
And the point of her getting you the computer was for you to look for a job?
No.
And then she found out you weren't looking for a job, you were only playing your video games, and this caused more stress between the two of you. She's now back in your space, she's now writing you more. Her boyfriend probably starts telling her, why isn't your son working? And it's causing discord, it's causing tension.
Kim stood by her son throughout the legal process and wrote that Chan was depressed, but that she didn't know he needed treatment. Instead of getting him professional help, I told him to try harder to find a job, she wrote.
Well, she was saying that she told you that she wanted you to get a job, okay? Sometimes it's hard to get a job, especially in Vegas. I get it, you know? Was that some of the stuff that was leading up to? I would say that's part of it. But yeah.
He didn't get a job for some reason, and also I just asked him to effort to get a job. That's what I asked.
Okay.
Yeah, not just like what types of job, what types of not really.
Okay. So do you remember telling the police that you were nagging him to get a job?
Yes.
Okay.
Little bit.
Do you remember them asking if he would get upset when you would nag him about getting a job? And then you said, sometimes, of course.
Yeah, sometimes. He tried. She said he tried.
I mean, that's kind of hard too, coming out here, you know what I mean? And you're living with your mom, and now you're turning 33. She's telling you need to get a job, and it's hard, and she's saying all these things to you, and you're trying to do those things, because no guy wants to be like guy staying at home with their mom and doing all that stuff. Like, and then she's probably saying some things to you, building it up, you know what I mean, kind of taking jabs at you, saying she works and things like that. Yeah, I'll say that's part of it. Yeah. Is she trying to kick you out of the house? Was that one of her things where she was going to say that she was going to put her only kid out on the street, or what?
I mean, she hasn't brought that up in a while, but she mentioned a few times here and there whenever a few verbal arguments would happen.
Okay. And nothing happened over the last day that
really got it going. So you're telling me from March when she moved in, you guys had that argument that you kind of been thinking about this since then? For almost a month? No, I would say I thought about it for longer. Longer than a month? Yeah, I would say so. Okay.
Kim said she had planned to live with Chan until he could find a job as a video game developer. And then this happened. Chan never relented on the reasons being too complex to explain, but every story came back to a central Chan Park condition. Despite repeated claims he was pursuing video game development, since moving to Vegas, he just couldn't, or didn't try to, obtain employment. He said he would sleep at around 4 a.m. every day, get up every couple of hours, and go back to bed until he was fully awake by around 6 p.m. That wasn't a problem until his mom moved back in. The state wondered whether Chan thought his mother was being pressured by Kevin about his employment status. State lawyers argued that Chan's first version of events aligned perfectly with the evidence at the scene, and that version never included an armed Kevin. They also argued that this was first-degree murder under multiple theories, including that Chan was lying in wait because Kim was used as bait, and the living room lights were off to give the appearance that no one was home, which would best explain Kevin's scattered personal items. He just never saw the attack coming. The front door was smudged with blood because Kevin was, in fact, trying to unlock the door to get out, the state argued. Chan tried to explain away inconsistencies in his self-defense story. Why didn't he check on his mother when Kevin was gone? His answer, he didn't think she needed help. Why didn't he call police or flag them down when they arrived? His answer, he was pooped. Chan ultimately argued that he wasn't the one to kill Kevin because his family had a do not resuscitate request in place. And with that, he blamed the victims, the family, and Kevin for being the unfortunate one to enter the home that night. When asked why he didn't tell police he was acting in self-defense, he said he was still under duress from Kevin's alleged threats to him. Chan tried to suppress his initial statements and claimed his counsel didn't allow him to get in touch with detectives to give them his most up-to-date story, and that's why he was representing himself. In any event, on March 24, 2023, Chan Park was found guilty of kidnapping and murder. His only priors were reckless driving and possession of a controlled substance. At sentencing, his defense asked for a maximum of 50 years, while the state asked for 30 to life. The judge, noting that this was an unprovoked attack and that there were 2 victims in this case, sentenced Chan Park to life in prison with parole eligibility after 27 years. His appeal to the Nevada Supreme Court was denied.
Murder doesn't make sense, ladies and gentlemen, right? It never makes sense. It's never a reasonable thing to do. But it doesn't mean that people do not air out their grievances with murder every single solitary day. And some of the reasons are bigger. Financial gain, obvious, right? Jealousy, more obvious. There are reasons that, while never good and while never legal, we can kind of attach reason to them. And that makes us feel good because we can kind of separate ourselves from it, right? We're not doing those things, so we're not going to get murdered. But there's also countless sort of smaller reasons. You can kill someone over a $5 bill. People get killed because they bumped somebody wrong in a bus. All kinds of microaggressions as to why a human being would kill another human being. And sometimes the most uncomfortable reason of all, because they want to. And that is what we have here. The detectives asked the defendant, "Why did you want to kill him?" And he said, "Because he was there." You heard him repeatedly blame the victim throughout this case, an innocent man who came over just to check on his girlfriend. And he has no remorse for that. People who kill people in self-defense have remorse. They don't want to kill the person, they had to kill the person. They aren't proud of it. They will always live with that kind of remorse. But not a person who planned this, who thought about it, who deliberated on it, who executed it, who acted it out, and is actually proud of it. He has not a shred of remorse, not then and not now.
It's worth noting that Kim's short biography about Chan's life was appended to a sentencing memorandum for the sake of considering mitigating factors. In any event, Kevin's daughter provided the final word before sentencing.
He didn't deserve what happened to him. He was a kind man. He was very caring. He was very loving. He didn't deserve the pain and the suffering that was inflicted upon him. He didn't deserve to have his life taken away from him. My brother and I had our father taken away from us. My sons had their grandfather taken away from them. My entire family is absolutely devastated.
Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to listen to me narrate this story, which is based on the primary sources. Special thanks to the reporters who bring light to these cases, to the records departments for their assistance, and to you guys for engaging in the subject matter. I hope you're well, you're doing acts of charity, and I'll see you next time. Good night.